Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for joining me today. Let's get right to it. Have you ever wondered what our world might look like if our government focused on doing less, not more, if it didn't spend trillions abroad or make decisions for us that, frankly, we could make for ourselves? Today, we're talking about what it means to have a truly limited government, one that respects our freedom to keep our money and make our own choices. Now, our nation was founded on the principles of limited government, a government that protects our rights and stays within its constitutional bounds. But over time, we've drifted from that vision. Instead, we've found ourselves in a situation where our government funds endless wars overseas, expanding its reach and power beyond what's in the best interest of everyday Americans. And here's where the 16th Amendment comes into play. By giving the government direct access to our income, it enables this massive expansion, allowing it to fund wars and programs that many of us don't even agree with. Imagine if, instead, the federal government was limited in both power and funding. That's what we'd get if we repealed the 16th Amendment. Without easy access to our income, the government would have to prioritize and be more accountable, focusing only on what it's constitutionally allowed to do. Another effect of an overreaching federal government is its increasing use of the dollar as a weapon in global politics. By imposing sanctions and financial controls, our government has pressured other nations into compliance with our foreign policy. But there's a real cost to this approach. Many countries are now working to avoid the US dollar entirely, forming alliances like BRICS, an economic partnership between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa that's actively looking to create alternative currencies and financial systems. This shift could weaken the dollar's global dominance, which would have a serious impact on the US economy. By overextending our financial power, we're essentially pushing other countries to find ways around it. If more nations join BRICS, the dollar's role in global trade could diminish, and that would affect all of us here at home, making imports more expensive, increasing inflation, and threatening our economic stability. Think about this for a moment. Every dollar taken by the government is a dollar we don't get to decide how to spend. Imagine the possibilities if, instead of being forced to fund wars in far-off places, we kept more of our own money. We could save for our futures, invest in our families, and support causes we believe in right here at home. It's not just foreign policy either. The government spends billions on things like education, healthcare, and infrastructure, but are we getting the quality we're promised? When the federal government tries to manage these areas, we often end up with inefficiency, wasted resources, and bloated programs that deliver mediocre results. A smaller government means more control for people to make the decisions that work best for their families and communities. This approach to government, one that's truly limited, wouldn't just mean fewer wars abroad. It would mean a foreign policy that prioritizes defense and diplomacy over costly entanglements and intervention. We could have a respected, responsible place in the world without needing to play world police. With less funding for global conflicts, we could focus on real national security while giving people back control over their finances. And this doesn't mean ignoring our allies or pretending that global issues don't matter. It simply means rethinking our role and staying out of conflicts that aren't our responsibility. By empowering people to decide for themselves how their money is used, we build stronger families, communities, and ultimately, a stronger country. So, what could this look like for each of us? With a smaller government, we would see fewer taxes and regulations, more financial freedom, and a government that does only what the Constitution requires. It wouldn't fund endless wars or vast, wasteful programs. Instead, it would allow us to choose where our money goes, giving us the power to invest in our own lives, families, and communities. When it comes down to it, every dollar we keep is a dollar we can use to support our own vision for the future. A government limited in scope would not have the ability to grow larger and more intrusive. Instead, it would create the space for real individual freedom, where people have the freedom to decide what matters most to them. Ultimately, this is about freedom and empowerment. Freedom to keep what we earn, to make decisions about our money, and to live our lives without unnecessary government control. Repealing the 16th Amendment is a big step toward that vision, and with a smaller government we could put an end to wasteful spending and unnecessary interventions that drain our resources and our morale. So, let's keep the conversation going. What would you do with more freedom to decide how your money is spent? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this message resonates with you, like and subscribe for more discussions on limited government, personal freedom, and real fiscal responsibility. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, let's work toward a future with more freedom and less government interference.